Quantitative measures make it possible to discover, for example, whether the Gnostics were clustered in the more Christian or in the more pagan cities. It is in this spirit that missions and methods are the principal topics of this opening chapter. Nevertheless, the relatively brief quantitative aspects of this and subsequent chapters are very secondary to and embedded in large historical concerns. Missions and monotheism. Since earliest days, humans have been exchanging religious ideas and practices. For millennia, there was nothing special about the spread of religion. It diffused through intergroup contact in the same way as did new ways to weave or to make pottery. Even with the advent of cities, religion did not become the focus of any special effort to proselytize. From time to time, a priest or two probably pursued new followers, and individuals often recommended a particular god or rite to others. But since no one supposed that there was only one valid religion or only one true God, there were no missionaries, nor was there really such a thing as conversion. In a religious context populated by many gods, to accept a new god usually does not involve discarding an old one. As the celebrated Arthur Darby Knock pointed out, within polytheism, new gods are merely supplements rather than alternatives. Knox suggested that the word conversion is stretched beyond any useful meaning if it is applied to such relatively trivial actions. Instead, the term should be reserved for the formation of a new commitment across the boundaries of major religious traditions. For example, a shift from polytheism to Judaism to Christianity or to Islam is a conversion. So is a shift from one of the monotheistic traditions to another, or, rarely, from one of these traditions to polytheism. However, a shift in patronage from one god of a pantheon to another is not conversion but reaffiliation. The same is true of shifts within the boundaries of a monotheistic tradition, as from Methodist to Baptist, from Orthodox to Reformed, or from Sunni to Shiite. These, too, are acts of reaffiliation. In contrast, missionaries are those who seek converts, who attempt to get others to shift from one tradition to another. Some people serve as part-time amateur missionaries, others are full-time professionals, but either sort of missionary is produced only within monotheism. Even so, not just any sort of monotheism produces missionaries, especially the rank-and-file missionaries on which real success depends. For example, once Christianity became safely ensconced as the Roman state church, its missionary activities very rapidly decayed. Likewise, what probably was the first ever appearance of monotheism in Egypt during the 13th century BCE did not produce rank-and-file missionaries and probably very few sincere professional missionaries either. Pharaoh Amenhotep IV, who adopted the name Akhenaten, attempted to establish worship of an invisible, omnipotent, one true God. But he did it by edict and force, by creating a self-sufficient, state-supported religion and by attempting to suppress the other temples. Upon his death, the priests of the discarded gods combined to destroy all vestiges of monotheism, and did so without opposition because there were few or no converts to resist them. Hence, the world's first missionaries were Jews, and the world's first converts became Jews. Jewish missions. It recently has become fashionable for many secular Jews, being eager to prohibit all religious proselytizing, to deny that Judaism ever was a missionizing faith. But as every Orthodox Jewish scholar agrees, the historical facts are clear. Judaism was the first great missionary religion. Maimonides, the famous medieval Jewish scholar, put it plainly. Moses, our teacher, was commanded by the Almighty to compel all the inhabitants of the world to accept the commandments. It could hardly have been otherwise. The obligation to missionize is always implicit in monotheism and is explicit in the Old Testament. Isaiah chapter 49 verse 6 reads, "I will give you as a light to the nations, that my salvation may reach to the ends of the earth." Later in Isaiah, chapter 66, verses 18 through 19, God reveals His plan to gather all nations and tongues and to send missionaries to the coastlands far away that have not heard of my fame or seen my glory, and they shall declare my glory among the nations.